Hello, good morning, Professor. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well today. Okay, let's go straight to the point. Let's talk about my article, a quite interesting one, by the way. I really liked it, and it because it's about education in Finland. The title of the article is Assessment in Finland, a scholarly reflection on one country's use of formative, summative, and evaluative practices by Katie Hendrickson. Before I start talking about the content of this article, I want to tell you what I knew about education in Finland. And the first thing is that it was free, or it is free. So the Finnish government guarantee and provide the necessary conditions for teachers to teach and obviously for students or learners to learn. So they invest, I guess, a lot of money in this field in education. So what makes me think that education for them is really is essential. So also, Finland education in Finland or Finnish education is well known because of the results students obtain year after year or from time to time when they present this the PISA test. They they obtain good results in mathematics especially and all in other areas. They shows what they have, how they have been taught and how they have been trained. So for presenting this type of test, international test. So I think that was the only thing I knew about Finland. But then when I started reading the article, I realized that there were many other interesting things to know, and it was that, for example, the children start their learning process, but the formal learning process at the age of 6 years. So from that time they start like they get enrolled in that process of learning. Um, the education there, they care so much about education, but that doesn't mean that they assess or they give tests to the students all the time as we do it here in our country. We are all the time testing topics and units and courses. They do it, but they don't even let the student know about that process of assessment or testing, which is like a negative impact for them because they get stressed, nervous, anxious, and all that. All what we know about presenting tests. So they do it, but they don't tell the student, for example, okay, take out a sheet of paper and you are going to be tested about this. No. So but the process is guided, is a more formative process in terms of assessment. It's a formative assessment, a formative education in which they care the individual and they help that individual to overcome the different weaknesses, and obviously they potentiate those who are good and they and good performers. So also, what I learned about this with this document is that they present only like two high stake tests. Two the biggest tests they present are mainly two. The first one is when they have finished their elementary process. I mean, when they are going to enter to sixth grade, they present a test. So after they finish that long process from first to fifth grade, to pass to approve that fifth grade, they have to present a test, and that test determines if they pass to sixth grade. So that means that they have successfully fulfilled with that basic knowledge, elementary school, that basic uh, education. So they present that test, and and if they pass it, they go to the secondary education. And the other high stake test is the matriculation. It says that is the matriculation examination, and this is after the completion of upper secondary level. So after they finish, let's say 11th grade, they present a complex test. Um, so they will, if they pass it, they enter to university and they study whatever they want to study. So that big tests are presented for the students. So they are more focused on the development of critical thinking skills. So I think that's the key. That's the secret for them. So they guide the students throughout that process to overcome weaknesses. They reinforce. They have special staff to support those struggling students. So they make small groups and they work with those specific struggling students, and they help them to overcome all the difficulties. So the student is supported, and they uh, develop all the skills this Ministry of Education wants them to improve or to develop. So it was interesting. Something that I read and I wonder is that some of the considerations for that education, or specifically for the results Finnish students obtain in this test, because it's this specific test is the PISA test. So and that's the problem. Okay, they go well in this test, in PISA test, but they don't usually present other international tests. So so one can think that they are just being trained to obtain good results in this test. However, I think is it's a good is the process they do there are good processes, since they care about the human, the individual, and the development and the growth that this individual can obtain, um, as being supported and and helped to overcome their weaknesses. So they don't learn for the test, they learn for life. So I don't know if we can do it here in Colombia. It's quite difficult because the Colombian government doesn't want to invest in education. It's quite difficult. The only thing teachers, Colombian teachers, can do is just to be creative, innovative, and just to find a way to help our students to learn. So I think it depends on the country. I think I cannot say, as it is mentioned in the article, uh, the conditions in every country are different. So maybe those strategies they use there, that system of education, might not work in other country, but maybe uh, can be adapted in the way that it can work. So this is what I wanted to share. So thank you very much, Professor.